I bought the camera because of the footsteps. That was all. Just footsteps. I live alone. Top floor. No pets. No upstairs neighbors. And yet, every night, just after 2 a.m., I heard them. Soft. Slow. Pacing. Like bare feet moving just outside my bedroom door. At first, I told myself it was the pipes. Old building. Weird noises. No big deal. But then I heard them again and again and again. Always at the same time. Always the same rhythm. Never hurried. Never loud. Just deliberate. I started checking the hallway at night. Opening the door slowly. Phone flashlight on. Nothing. Not even creaking floorboards. So I bought a camera. A decent one. Infrared, motion detection, night vision. Something simple. Plug and play. I placed it on a tripod, angled right at my bedroom door. If something was moving at night, I know. The first night, nothing triggered. No alerts. No movement. But I still heard the footsteps. 2:12 a.m. 3 steps. Pause. 2 more. I waited, breathed slowly, then opened the door. Empty hallway. As usual, I checked the camera feed on my phone. Nothing had been detected. Next night, same. No motion. But the sound came back. Same time. Same pattern. It didn't make sense. Was the mic too weak? The motion sensor too limited? I adjusted the settings. Upped the sensitivity. Enabled continuous recording. That night I stayed awake. Lights off. Blankets pulled up to my chin. Phone screen glowing beside me. 2:03 a.m. Nothing. 2:11. Footsteps. Closer. This time slower. I didn't move. I just opened the camera app and watched the live feed. And what I saw was wrong. The hallway looked normal, lit by the infrared filter. My door closed, walls empty, but in the bottom corner, a shape, something crouched low, just outside my door, barely visible, like it knew where the camera's blind spot was. Then movement. It stood up, lanky, too tall, no clear face, just an outline like static in human form. It turned and walked away, but I hadn't heard it. No steps, just silence. I rushed to the door, flung it open. Nothing. I checked the app, replayed the footage, and this time, there was nothing there. The clip was normal. No shape, no figure, just the hallway. It didn't match what I had just seen live. I played it again. Still nothing. I didn't sleep that night. In the morning, I downloaded the entire recording, went frame by frame. At 2:11 a.m., something flickers. One frame, that same distorted shape, then gone, like the file itself was rejecting it, or something didn't want to be seen. The next night, I pointed the camera further out, past my door toward the main hallway. I wanted a wider view. I went to bed, didn't even pretend to sleep, just stared at the screen in the dark. 2:00 a.m. Nothing. 2:07. Faint blur. 2:12. Motion alert. I opened the live feed, and there was again, same shape, same slow movement. But this time, it stopped, right in front of the camera. I could see it clearly. No eyes, no mouth, just stretched, skin-like texture over a hollow skull. It leaned in, close to the lens, so close the screen turned to black static. And then a whisper, not from the phone, not from the hallway, from behind me. Just one word. Watching. I turned. Nothing. Empty room. Cold air. I looked back at the screen. The feed had crashed. Reopen the app. It had no record of motion, no recording saved, no event logged. Like the camera refused to admit what it had seen. That morning, I moved the camera into the living room, pointed it at the hallway from the opposite end, gave it a full view of the entire space. And this time, I stayed in the kitchen, lights off, watching from the doorway. I didn't even blink when the motion alert popped at 2:11. The screen was black, not because of darkness, but because something was covering the lens. A hand, long fingers, thin skin, pressed against the glass from the inside. I didn't sleep. I just sat there, staring at the frozen screen. The hand stayed in place for almost a full minute, and then it slid off, slowly, smearing something like condensation or oil across the lens. And then the feed returned. Empty hallway. No movement. No trace. But when I checked the footage, it didn't exist. No alert. No video. Just a gap. A full minute missing. The app skipped straight from 2:10 to 2:13. Like that minute had been erased. I called the manufacturer, told them I had issues with corrupted files. They ran diagnostics remotely, said everything was functioning normally. I asked if motion events could be lost. They said, not unless the camera is manually disabled. I hadn't touched it, didn't even move. I started leaving it on 24/7, streaming directly to my cloud. Screenshots every 10 seconds. But even that didn't help, because it wasn't just erasing data. It was replacing it. One night, I left the apartment just to test it, left the camera running, recording the empty hallway. When I came back, I checked the footage. It showed someone standing outside my door. Someone who looked exactly like me. Same clothes, same posture, same face. But I wasn't there. I was across town at a diner. I had receipts. I had GPS logs. But on the footage, I was standing outside my own door for 10 minutes, motionless. And then the door opened, and I walked in. I couldn't breathe. I scrubbed through the file again, frame by frame. At no point did the door unlock. No sound, no trigger. The camera showed me, opening my own door, from the outside, while I wasn't home. After that, I unplugged it, wrapped it in a towel, shoved it in a drawer. Didn't matter, because that night I woke up to the sound of footsteps. Again, 2:11 a.m., same rhythm, same deliberate pacing. I grabbed my phone, still on the bedside table. The camera app was open, streaming, even though the camera was unplugged. And what it showed wasn't my hallway. It was my bedroom from the corner, high up, like something was watching me from the ceiling. I stared at the screen, frozen. There I was, lying in bed, blanket pulled halfway. But there was someone else in the room, standing over me. Still, faceless, breathing, not moving, except for one finger, raised, pointing directly at the lens. At me. I turned on the light. No one. I looked at the ceiling. Nothing. Checked the app. The feed was gone. History empty. Cache wiped. But the phone was still cold, still buzzing, like something had just stopped. The next day, I took the camera to a dumpster 3 blocks away, threw it in, watched it land. Then I walked home. When I got there, my phone vibrated. Motion detected. 2:11 a.m. I opened the notification. There was a still frame on my front door, and standing just outside it was me. but not really. It was wearing my clothes. My face even had the scar on my eyebrow. But the eyes were wrong. Too dark, too wide, too still. It stared directly into the lens. And then the next frame was blank. Just static, just black. That was 4 days ago. I haven't slept since. I don't hear the footsteps anymore. But sometimes, when I pass by the mirror, I see myself blinking a second too late.